Thursday, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. My name is Wale Scott. Welcome on the show. You see, sometimes in life, when a man is down, only a very few people tend to lift him up. Some just intend to step on him. And you can imagine a Debola, Arsenal fan, telling me that even 11 Bariga boys, ordinary Bariga boys, arrange 11 boys, they will beat Man U. Well, there will be days like this.
Mama said so.
Yeah, Mommy said so. Super Eagles players and officials were in buoyant mood as they flew out to Garoua, Cameroon, yesterday night ahead of the 2021 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon. Now, 25 players and technical crew members made the trek from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. Now, the contingent will fly straight to Garoua, where an advance party already waited for them. The three remaining players, Odion Ighalo, Thyron Eboyi, and Jamilu Collins, will join the team in Garoua. The Super Eagles will take on Cameroonian champions Cotton Sports Garoua in a friendly on Friday. The three-time African champions will open their 2021 AFCON campaign against Egypt on January 11th. The Super Eagles will parade the sixth youngest team when the 33rd African Cup of Nations begins in Cameroon on Sunday. Sparta Rotterdam goalkeeper Maduka Okoye and Villarreal winger Simon Chukwueze are the two youngest players in the Eagles squad, both aged 22. Kaizer Chiefs goalkeeper Daniel Akpeyi is the oldest in the Nigerian squad at 35 and is followed by team captain Ahmed Musa, who is 29. Now, AFCON, we have the sixth youngest team ever, but these are very good players.
Yes.
Very good players. Tyrone Obuehi, Samuel Chukwueze, Joseph Aribo, Olaino, all 22-24.
We've never had a team quite as technical as this set of players, and the variety of options, the myriad of options across all parts of the world. In the Kaizer Chief goalkeeper, Villarreal right winger in Chukwueze, you know, there's a lot of room for success in this team, but that's only on paper. Of course, they could surprise everyone. They could wow us. Eguavon could set out a team with a pragmatic approach. The players could utilize their individual skills to triumph over their oppositions and somehow get through the group stages and even go further than the quarterfinal stages, maybe even all the way to the finals. But though, if that happens, that will be part of the Nigerian spirit that we've spoken about countless times on this shows. And unless that happens, I don't expect that any big breakthrough will happen as a result of tactical approach from the coach.
Now, we're going to be in Cameroon. Our first match is going to be against Egypt. Like we said on the show earlier, consistency is key. And these guys play together. A large amount of the Egyptian team, Pharaohs of Egypt, play in Al Ahly in one team, 8 of them. So consistency will be key here. These are guys who have trained together for like 3 days. These guys play together like forever.
And you know, another thing is that the Egyptians have a standout star. For us, we don't have a standout star. We don't have someone to get the ball to.
We should have, but
yes,
for injury and COVID, Osimhen would have been the standout star.
Yes.
But we're not looking at the fact that there are players who are doing very well in their clubs and are technically very good. Aribo is fantastic. Chukwueze is fantastic. Wilfred Ndidi was voted to be the best attacking midfielder in the English Premier League last season. That's enough to actually blow our trumpets.
Well, defensive midfielder actually, but
yes,
obviously these are
he had
strong.
the most tackles last season.
These are strong players in their positions, in their club sides, but like you've mentioned before, ultimately cohesiveness, teamwork, and an understanding of each other's positions, each other's duties and responsibilities, and how they will individually complement each other is a big part of how you play football. I always say, for a team sport, the number one thing that is most important in any player in playing in whatever position, collectively, decision making. It's the number one thing that helps a team win. If collectively they are all capable of making the right decisions, running into the spaces that open up, finding each other with the right passes, and taking maximum advantage of any slip-ups from the opposition. We're not going to have too many situations where the defenses are going to go to sleep. And then you're going to have the opportunity to quickly counter, and the counter breaks down. Those situations are going to kill us.
Well, Nigeria always makes it happen. I remember when we played against Argentina at the World Cup, and they had Lionel Messi, they had all the stars, big stars, and it ended 2-1. Well, now I'm tired of when sports gets involved with politics or politics gets involved in sports. Authorities have vowed there will be no disruption to African Cup of Nations soccer matches, despite some being held in an area of Cameroon where separatist militants have increased their use of improvised explosives. Now, the soccer mascots are out, and so too are the soldiers. It's one of the cities in Cameroon playing host to the African Cup of Nations, which kicks off on Sunday. And it's also been hit by years of separatist violence. Security worsened recently as armed groups increased their use of improvised explosives, to the concern of those like Limbe based journalist Kumar Honore. Limbe is located in the southwest region. AFCON Group F matches comprising Tunisia, Mali, Mauritania, and Gambia will be hosted at Limbe Omni Sports Stadium. The nearby original capital, Biwa, where some Group F training will take place, was hit by 2 explosions in November, one in a university, wounding 11 students. Now, Group F matches will take place in Limbe. Tunisia, Mauritania, Gambia will play there. And then the training camp is in the nearest city, Biu, which is just about less than a kilometer from Limbe. And the separatists who want a republic called Ambazonia have said, we will disrupt the event. But the authorities say, stay calm. No problem. Limbe is fine.
First of all, when it comes to terrorism, insurgency,
you don't risk it and take a match there.
well, firstly, the point of these things is that they want to make a statement, and they want to use the most violent means possible to maximize how loud their statement will
Added with, of course, publicity.
Yes.
They want TV, they want radio.
So definitely, even before they said it, this event is going to be a target. My worry is that, first of all, the considerations that went into selecting a venue, even the host nation. Why was why was Cameroon chosen? Why was Cameroon the choice, the number one choice for this event? And there's no backup. And the separatist movement has been going on for years. And now, as we saw in that report, the government cracked down, only further radicalized them. How can we be certain that a government that has had many missteps in such security-conscious manner will be certainly capable of keeping out any potential attacks from these venues? Because the worst thing we can see on our TVs while we're watching matches are hearing sounds of explosions in the background, seeing chaos erupt in the stadium, and knowing that lives are in danger, and possibly even at the end of it, finding out that a few lives have been lost. Not just the footballers, not just their coaches, not just diplomats, but fans who have come out there, who have trooped out during the pandemic period to watch an event that has already been delayed for more than a year. It's the worst possible thing that could happen right now.
Okay, now talking to Debola on the side, we're going to show visuals, films. There's no track for this one. To talk about the first leg of the League Cup semi-finals between Arsenal and Liverpool. On Thursday, that's today, it has been postponed due to a severe outbreak of COVID-19 infections at Liverpool. The English Football League, EFL, said yesterday Liverpool had requested the AFL on Tuesday to reschedule the game because of the rise in COVID-19 cases at the club. The Merseyside club temporarily closed their training ground on Wednesday due to a rapidly growing number of suspected COVID-19 infections at the club. As a result of the postponement, the order of the ties had been changed, with the first of the 2 legs now taking place at Anfield on January 13th, while the rearranged game will be played as the second leg at the Emirates on January 20th. Liverpool players Alisson Becker, Roberto Firmino, and Joel Matip returned positive test on Sunday, while manager Jurgen Klopp tested positive at the weekend. Virgil van Dijk, Thiago Alcantara, Fabinho, and Curtis Jones were also forced into isolation last month following positive tests. Now, Liverpool's last match, Klopp couldn't make it. And now Arsenal against Liverpool has been postponed. We know Chelsea, whoever wins this one will go up against Chelsea.
Should Chelsea get through the other semi-final match, they still have to return to play.
Yes, which we all know is gonna happen. It's good. But this match, what does this do to the schedule of the Carabao Cup?
What I'm even more worried about, of course, the schedule is already in shambles. The FA, the EFL, they're all scrambling to find solutions and not create too much of a backlog of games. And certainly the teams that will likely suffer the most are those still playing in Europe. But that aside, there is the mental aspect of this whole thing. Knowing that you're preparing, it's one thing to gear up mentally, focus so intensely, not just at training, but go home and look yourself in the mirror and know that your next game, the place where you have the best chance to show off and improve upon your previous performances, do better than you did the last time, is against Arsenal or is against Liverpool. And then that gets taken away and then you have to refocus. Sometimes you build up your anticipation so high that when you finally crash, it can be a seriously drastic mental issue for you. I hope that these players that are going into isolation, that are knowing that every day they go into camp, there's a possibility that people they consider friends, people they consider teammates, people they consider maybe even family, are potentially spreaders of a deadly virus that could harm them and further harm their families at home. That can be dangerous mental state.
Okay, quickly, let's just assume, I am assuming already, Chelsea is qualified. Which team would you think would qualify to face Chelsea between Arsenal and Liverpool and will give them a run for their money?
I think Arsenal could surprise Liverpool, but of course, Liverpool's form the last few years means that they are always favourites in this game. And certainly they're a bigger team, better squad, better trained. They've been playing together longer.
If Arsenal get to meet Chelsea?
If Arsenal get to meet Chelsea, obviously it will be a derby, so it will be competitive. It will be contentious. Any one of them, either Liverpool or Arsenal, whoever gets to the finals will give Chelsea a tough time. Liverpool always give Chelsea a tough time. We saw it in the last Premier League matchup they had, 2-2. And it might be, if they do both meet, it might be a way to soothe each other's wounds as a result of the consequences of that 2-2 draw, because that 2-2 draw basically has cleared the road for Manchester City.
True that.
But whoever wins a trophy.
Now, Britain's Anthony Joshua on Wednesday said he's looking forward to his next bout against Alexander Usyk, who is confident of redeeming himself after being beaten by the Ukrainian in an unanimous points decision lost last September. Speaking at the Expo 2020 Dubai, the former two-time unified world heavyweight champion also conceded that the second loss of his career hurt the most, and he was simply beaten by the better fighter on the night. Joshua is expected to face Usyk for a second time in either March or April, having triggered his rematch clause last October, definitely waiting on where he sees himself in the current heavyweight picture, among the likes of Usyk, Tyson Fury, and Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Quickly, Mukael. Joshua against Alexander Usyk, rematch, March or April. Who takes this one?
I have no idea. Last time I gave it to Joshua because of his form going into the bout. But this time, I mean, Usyk landed more punches on Joshua than any of Joshua's other previous opponents. And clearly, the boy is faster. He's faster than we gave him credit for. He's capable. He's strong enough to be worthy of the heavyweight title. So we'll see. But right now, if I was gonna bet, I'll probably go safety, bet on Usyk.
People have called him a stubborn goat. I don't know what you want to call him. Novak Djokovic failed to provide sufficient proof to receive a medical exemption to enter Australia. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has said Australian Border Force on Thursday cancelled the visa of Djokovic, the world #1 tennis player, and denied him entry to the country to play in the Australian Open tournament after he was forced to wait for several hours at Melbourne Airport. In a dramatic series of events through the Melbourne night, Djokovic touched down at Tullamarine Airport on Wednesday about 11:30 p.m. local time after a 14-hour flight from Dubai, but was ushered into an isolation room under police guard, when Australian officials said his visa did not allow for medical exemptions. Fans of the tennis star Novak Djokovic gathered outside a hotel he was believed to be staying at in Melbourne on Thursday to show their support after the player was denied entry into the country.
Rules are rules.
It's not fair. It's being discriminated.
Okay, that's all we can say quickly. Novak Djokovic.
I think this whole thing is just politics. The fact is they made the rule you can get an exemption and that would qualify you to come into Australia. Now they're changing the rules after the man has gone to get... First of all, I don't even believe that he doesn't have... he's not allowed to take the vaccination. I think it was a personal choice that he made originally, but then he's gone, asked the doctor, they've tested him, and they've come with the realization that, okay, he has an exemption. He can't take the vaccination. It's probably bad
But
for
the
him.
visa that he had doesn't exempt him from the vaccination.
But the visa he has, these people have publicists. They have people who do these kinds of things for them, who go and get the paperwork done. The kind of paperwork necessary to bring in tennis players, athletes into Australia to do it is specific. They would have applied for that.
Okay. We can talk about this all day. Thank you very much, Mokael. Join us same time tomorrow, same station, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. My name is Wally Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.